This podcast is supported by Music Theater of Wenatchee, celebrating 64 years of bringing stories to life. From show-stopping musicals to powerful plays, the Music Theater of Wenatchee stage is where stories come alive. Now they are writing the next chapter, and you can help make it happen. Thanks to the McKee Matching Funds campaign, every dollar you give is doubled, up to $50,000, towards MTW's Riverside Annex expansion project. To support the next act of community theater in Wenatchee, visit annex.mtow.org and donate today.
Opening nightclub.
We're not opening a nightclub.
It's the opening nightclub. We can't wait to watch an opening night show, because on opening night we always go with our opening night club. Opening night club.
Welcome to the Opening Night Club podcast. This is the podcast for everyone who lives for that first curtain, that first spotlight, and that first round of applause. I'm Kevin McKee, and every week we dive into the magic of community theater right here in Central Washington. With me today is an amazing actor, playwright, bon vivant, man about town, and a good friend, Skyler Cuthill. Hello, Skyler.
Howdy, Kevin. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How's your week in theater?
Oh, it's been totally fine. Good. We saw Carousel. We'll talk about that later, but I really liked it. Spoilers, jumping ahead.
And you're in rehearsals for...
12th night.
12th night.
Yes. JJ Hernandez, John O'Gwyn, and Caroline Rensel, local luminaries, have put together their own new theater company, Third Job Theater. Clever title. And we are working on 12th night right now, and it will open in the second weekend of August. So I believe it's August 8, 9, and then a Friday performance after that, too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
More theater. It's kind of a dead time normally, like July, August, to see theater, but lately it's just been booming.
Yeah, and it's exciting to have Shakespeare again, right? Because there have been a couple of attempts at doing like Shakespeare-type stuff in the Valley, and none of them have really come off, but we're giving it another run. So 12th night, second weekend of August. Look forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. Okay, now we've got a lot to talk about today, but because this is our first podcast, I wanted to take a few minutes to explain the opening nightclub. So it should be a fun, it's an unofficial concept that we've been playing with for years, and the concept describes our community of theater lovers who make it a point to attend the opening night of local shows. So this would be musicals, plays, youth productions, everything else. There's no dues, there's no membership lists. It's just an informal circle of fans who share the excitement, the energy of an opening night club or an opening night. It's a club of people on opening night. And anybody can be a member. And because you are listening to this right now, welcome to the club. This podcast, the Opening Nightclub podcast, we're doing this to kind of give a voice to this community. And we're going to be talking about recent opening night performances, current productions, rehearsals, and of course, we'll be talking where the club will be meeting next. Where's the next opening night? So the podcast, it's part celebration, part critique, part community calendar, but it's all about just love and theater. Does that make sense?
I have followed along at every step of the way.
Oh, God.
Yes, 100%.
And I've got Skyler here because, Skyler, you and I have seen a lot of theater together.
That is absolutely true.
and all the way from the high school productions to the community theater stuff. And I think we're talking next week, we're going to be seeing Stage Teens, which I don't know that I've seen a Stage Teens production.
Yeah, no, we were talking about it and kind of like we're going to all this stuff already anyway, right? So let's get an organized aspect to it, right?
Yes. Well, and we've been talking about it for a while. And when I brought this concept up to theater folk in the Valley, they've been like, oh, that sounds awesome. I want to be part of that club. So now they can. Now we can have a meetups.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
So, Skyler, you've been working on 12th Night.
Yeah.
And, well, actually, I'm going to jump back. You just finished the director's showcase.
Yeah, the new Directors Festival type thing at MTW. Yeah, we did 2 one-acts, right? So Josie Meats directed
Well, he did Zoo Story.
Zoo Story,
Yeah.
right? And then I was in An Actor's Nightmare, which was directed by Cam Curtis, which was a comedy. And Zoo Story is kind of a heavy drama, right? There's 2 people and one of them perishes. Spoilers, sorry. It's like 50 years old. I can do that. Yeah, so it was, no, it's a good concept. You know, it's developing the community, it's developing talent, right? And it's getting more kind of creative side talent, especially, which we need. Right. So no, it was a very positive experience. Enjoyed it a lot.
It was also an opportunity to do shows that wouldn't normally get done. Edward Albee he's a playwright that I think we've heard of the name, but his shows aren't like, we don't pack him in normally to see Edward Albee. So I'm glad we got to get a way to do that show.
Yeah. The dramas tend to not sell as well, right? They're kind of more niche. So this was a good way to kind of get that done, right? You package it with another thing, right? Actor's Nightmare, which was a pretty broad comedy, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I know Josie likes to think that Zoo Story is a black comedy, but boy, that'd be a really, really black.
I cannot agree with my esteemed colleague Josie Meats. It's a drama with comic elements. Just because there are jokes does not make it a comedy. Right, traditionally, you know, tragedies end poorly, dramas end poorly, and comedies end well, right? That's like the defining element. And I defy anybody to tell me that a Zoo Story ends well, you know, that they shake hands and go, we've grown a lot today. Wow, this is great.
They end with a double wedding.
Yeah, everybody gets paired up and goes, that was it. Our lives are arranged now. No, it's a drama, just it has comic elements, you know.
And you've been kind of workshopping your own show. It's not really a one-man show, but you've got 3 people.
That's one-man elements.
It's one-man elements.
Yes.
And are you going to be performing that? Do you have that scheduled to be performed again?
Yeah, so I've revised the script reasonably extensively, and it'll be performed again, I believe, in September. We're still working on the date for that, but that'll be sometime in September once we wrap up 12th Night, and that'll be again in Leavenworth, and then I'm hoping to perform it in Wenatchee sometime in the future, maybe like November or January, something like that.
And what's the name of your play?
Humans, a brief primer.
There we go.
Thrilling stuff. We did it earlier this year at the Bushel and Bee in Leavenworth. It seemed to come off pretty well, although also we didn't charge admission, so I think that influenced people's feelings about it. You know, you give them a lot more latitude if they asked for nothing from you, you know.
You undersell yourself. You packed the place. It was standing room only, and it was very funny.
We learned a lot, and I'm going to integrate those thoughts into the next production.
And so now we're doing this podcast. I asked you to be on this podcast, and you immediately said, I've got lots of podcast experience because you've been writing it into your show.
Yeah. There's now a true crime podcast section of the show. So I actually have been listening to a lot of podcasts to do research. So I don't have a lot of experience with podcasts about this kind of thing, but I have a lot of experience with podcasts about serial killers and sexual assault. So if we do a show about one of those, we're covered. You know, I've got it. I am so ready for that.
But you're ready for this podcast because you do know a lot about local theater.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm integrated into the community. But if somebody did approach somebody else with a knife, I would be ready for that. I'd be ready to discuss it. I wouldn't be ready to fend them off, but I would be ready to discuss it.
There we go. And did you have an anecdote about podcasts?
No, I have an anecdote about a dream that I had the other day.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, generally speaking, I'm actually a good sleeper. So it's been frustrating that the last couple of weeks I've been sleeping really, really poorly. And the other night I had a very fitful sleep. And normally I'm a very vivid dreamer, right? So I had a very vivid dream. I was in the office of a producer in Hollywood, and I was pitching ideas, and they weren't going for it. They hated everything. They were not buying anything I was selling. Every idea was landing flat, all my concepts or whatnot. Then finally, right before I woke up, I pitched pure gold, right? Everybody stood up and they were like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is the one they're going to remember us for, you know, that kind of thing. And I woke up and I immediately went to my computer and I remembered what I had pitched and I wrote it down. So I want you to know.
In real life, you went to your computer.
Yes, in real, I woke up, I went, oh my gosh, that's perfect. I went to my computer, I wrote it down. So in a couple of years, get ready for, and here's the idea. This really is
this is your dream idea.
This is the one that they're going to remember me for. Bonnie and Clyde at Legoland.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the gold idea.
That was it. That was what everybody was jumping up and down about. Bonnie and Clyde at Legoland. They'll be like slumped over a Lego car at the end, dead.
Wow.
I'm giving it away, I guess, aren't I? But that is the concept.
No
I think it's
spoilers.
dynamite. I think it is pure
died.
gold.
Wow.
Bonnie and Clyde at Legoland. I think Legoland is an underused setting. Everybody loves Legoland.
There's Lego movies. There's a whole series of them.
Yeah, but like Legoland specifically, like the tourist destination.
Okay.
In California, right?
Yeah, I can't see myself ever going there, but yes,
You're missing out.
I am missing out.
It
on
was
Legoland.
wonderful. I went there as a kid. It was great.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into theater. So this last week, you and I had the opportunity to see opening night of Carousel.
Yeah.
Leavenworth Summer Theater's really their second show of the season is Carousel. And I'm going to start by saying I was pretty sure that I knew Carousel, and I got there and started watching the show. And I think at some point in intermission, I turned and I said, I've never seen this show. I totally thought I had, but I realized I'd been mixing it up with like Showboat or something else in my own mind. And I was completely unprepared for Act Two.
Yeah, Carousel also involves boats, also old-fashioned, and has problematic content, which is sometimes cut. Right? So
That's right.
there's similarities there. That's not an unreasonable mistake to make.
So I came away from it, and I think my reaction was, wow, that was kind of a weird show. And I don't know that anybody, I think other people who are more experienced in theater, they're familiar with Carousel, so it's not a weird show to them. But I think the first time you saw It's a Wonderful Life, you would say, that was kind of a weird Christmas show.
Yeah. No, so back in the day, there was more of a line drawn between people did say musical dramas or musical comedies. Nowadays, you just say musicals because so many of them are musical comedies, like 95% of it. But Carousel is a musical drama, which you're not really ready for, especially because it's Rodgers and Hammerstein, who are often pretty light stuff, cotton candy type stuff. People learn about each other and are happy, and the Carousel is legitimately fairly heavy. It gets dark and it doesn't end with everybody like shaking hands or pairing off like we were talking about. It ends with a guy just going away, going, I screwed it up again. I'm going away, which is real. That's legitimate.
No, it was a really good show, and it was more of a thinker, more emotional, that you kind of had to process it emotionally as you were leaving. There was a lot of things you don't normally see in musical theater where you did have regret and emotions that are hard for people to process.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It gets into very serious stuff, and it's been edited, so it's not as heavy as it was. I think it was produced for the first time in 1945, right? But it's still quite heavy stuff, especially for a musical, especially for a musical these days, where everybody's so used to musical comedies. But yeah, no, I love Carousel, and I thought it was very well realized up at the beautiful Ski Hill Amphitheater. I think everybody did a good job. Christopher in the lead, in the male lead, and the beautiful Rachel Powers in the female lead. I thought the looms were dynamite.
Let's talk a little bit about, well, I do want to talk about the set because I really loved, and I think John Wagner, the director, designed the set.
Yes.
And I love the set. And I love the direction. I thought it was a great show. But we would talk about the looms in the beginning, and I think it's even before, it was during the overture, they're out there, and they have 3 enormous functional looms.
Yes.
They're functional.
Yeah.
And
you can operate them. They have a shuttle.
Yeah. And they're enormous, and they show up during the overture. They make a few pieces, and then they go off, and we never see them again.
Yes. It's critical to establish the industrial underpinning of this beautiful town in beautiful Maine, which is that the girls work at the cotton mill. And then they leave the cotton mill at about 2 minutes into the show, and they never go back. That's the whole show, is that she quits, and she never returns to the cotton mill. So the looms come out stage for just a little bit, like a groundhog or what have you, and then they go backstage and they are not seen again.
And how long did you spend? There's a spoiler here. Skyler worked on the looms.
Yes, I built the looms. Well, John Wagner built the first loom, and I built the other 2. And it was about a week, maybe a week and a half per loom. So not counting materials, each of those looms is probably worth about $500, $800. So we spent a lot of money establishing the industrial background of this town in Maine in 1873.
I got it. And I was a little impressed because it was apparent that they could make something. that they were functioning looms. It was good.
Yeah. No, Wagner told me, and I don't know the exact truth of this, but this is what he said, that Rodgers and Hammerstein really hated overtures in the sense that people would be coming down and sitting down and making noise during them. So they wanted a weird pseudo-integrated overture, right? Like an overture that's more part of the show rather than like a specifically pre-show thing. And so that's why, if you notice, the looms are being worked in time to the overture. Oh. Yes, they're supposed to be working the shuttle, right? Working the warp and the woof according to the melody and the beat of the overture. So it's kind of an interesting concept, right? It's a semi-overture performance, but that was the idea.
And they did have warp and woof in the lyrics multiple times, which you don't normally get in a musical.
No, speaking of it being old-fashioned, I assume that audiences in 1945, everybody went, "Oh yeah, of course, the warp and the woof," but that's these
got
days
it anymore.
No.
It was the set was I enjoyed. They had built out the dock along the front of the stage, so they actually extended the stage several feet towards the audience, which was great. They had a big space to work with. And then at some point, it separates, and we've got an actual beach over the steps that come down, which was kind of amazing that we were able to see that. And later in the second act, they do that, and it was completely surprising.
Yeah, no. Every year, we build more and more stuff out there. It's getting more and more developed. Originally, right, they just did the Sound of Music out there, so it just kind of sat there. And as it's become more regular to have a second show up there in the Ski Hill Amphitheater, the infrastructure has gotten more and more developed.
Yeah.
And Christy, the executive director, she got a new sound system out there last year, so it sounds a lot better too. So it's being improved every year, so it's really coming along.
Yeah, it is a good show. Let's talk about the show a little bit. So Billy Bigelow, I don't know that he's the lead. He's not the hero. He's definitely the anti-hero.
Yeah.
And it was very clear that he and Julie Jordan, Billy Bigelow, Julie Jordan, they're in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, it's explicitly referred to a couple of times. They go, Billy Bigelow marries Julie Jordan, and it's an unhappy match, and then there's a little bit of a time skip, and one of her friends approaches her and says, "You got to leave your guy. He's no good at all." And Julie Jordan says, "I love him even though he hits me all the time." And you can't say that anymore. You just can't do it. You lose the audience.
Yes,
you know?
But it's kind of built into the script.
Yeah.
That there is this tension that Julie Jordan, who is just the sweetest, adorable thing, and she's with a guy who is bad.
Yeah, no, she's a martyr. Well, Billy is a complicated character. He's all tangled up inside.
Yes.
That's the whole concept, is that he means well, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, that's very common to mean well and then it just doesn't work out. But a lot of times that means like failing a job interview or whatnot. It doesn't mean battering your helpless wife. Let's be clear on that, right? But it actually has, very beautiful and deep characterizations, far more involved than you generally get in Rodgers and Hammerstein and musical theater in general, which is part of it being an unusual show.
Well, and we had really good actors in this one. I think Billy Bigelow was Christopher Puckett, who's been on the stage up there, and he's been down in Wenatchee. He's been in multiple things in the area, and he's great. He has a great voice, and he can act. That Billy Bigelow isn't something that a lot of guys can lean into, and he was able to do it.
Yeah. Christopher is very mature. He's been around. He's had experiences, right? Which is important for a role like that. That's kind of role is very tough, sometimes for like a younger person, right? But once you've gotten kicked around in life or whatever, you have that reserve of emotion to draw from, and I think it comes off really well.
Rachel Powers is Julie Jordan. Rachel, friend of the pod. She's able to bring out how Julie Jordan is sweet and vulnerable, and it breaks your heart what's happening. But I don't think she comes across as weak. She comes across as very much she knows what she's getting herself into, and she still loves her man.
Yeah. No, she's like, it's very traditional or whatever, like a Viking, where she understands the situation, but she's very resigned to her fate. She's ready to embrace the doom of woman. There's a very funny scene in Act 2, funny, quote unquote, where all the women are having fun and like singing jovially about how they don't really like men and it's kind of a bum deal, but like they're having fun, like it's amusing. We're all complaining, you know, we're getting a kick out of it. And then Julie Jordan sings the most depressing bit you've ever heard, where she just goes, "No, it's the end of the world and nobody can do anything about it. We're all totally boned. We're all absolutely stuck." And that's kind of the character. She's a smart lady and she's very good. She is just, she understands the world and she goes, "Yep, this is it. This is what we're doing." I hesitate to say beautiful because it's not, but it's very real. It's very this is real. This is real stuff. You know, it's often like this in life.
Yeah. No, it was great. We've got, I don't know if we want to go through everybody that was in the show.
I have one more thing to say about Rachel.
Okay.
It's very funny. So I had coffee with her the other day, and she brought up the fact that she was just in a little night music last year with me, in which she played the saddest woman in the world. She played the Count's wife, excuse me, who is deeply in love with this awful, awful man and can't do anything about it. And I didn't really consider this, but she said these are basically the same character, where she's a smart lady, the Count's wife, and she is totally resigned to her fate. And I thought that was funny. She's making a character type for herself. The saddest girl in the world.
If you had to come up with that beautiful melancholy,
yeah,
Rachel can do it.
Absolutely.
She can pull that one off.
Like Christopher, the depth of emotion, right? The maturity there. Yeah, wonderful.
And I would like to bring up Kathy Bronson as Nettie,
yes,
who is a joyful character.
Yes.
Right? So there is a lot of humor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of songs that people... Boy, I'd never seen the show, but I knew about half the songs in it. So I was kind of surprised by that. I knew that we had My Boy Bill, You'll Never Walk Alone.
June is busting out all over.
Yeah.
And the Climb Every Mountain of Carousel, which is you already mentioned You'll Never Walk Alone.
You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've heard it from the show. I think it's been recorded by Sammy and the Pacemakers. I don't know. It was somebody else in the 40s and 50s did You'll Never Walk Alone. So.
It's always funny to think about that. Back in the day, musical theater was not only mainstream, but it was so mainstream that like popular hits were often from the theater.
Yes.
Right. That popular music often was musical theater.
Yeah.
Compared to nowadays, where it's, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Different era.
So going back to Kathy, she played Nettie, who owned the boarding house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Local proprietress.
Yes. And she was big personality, great voice, and she was able to kind of lift the mood a lot of the times.
Yeah. Yeah. Rodgers and Hammerstein, right? So there's like a serious couple and a comic couple, right? And there's a comic couple. And that's like a trio or whatnot with Kathy. Although Kathy also sings "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Yeah.
So she also like got very serious, right?
Yes. No, she did, and she did a great job on that. And after the show, it was telling her she sang "You'll Never Walk Alone," hits the big notes while she's kneeling on the floor with Julie, consoling her.
Yeah.
And it does take something to be able to sing while you're not standing, while you're in a crouched position.
Yeah, you're screwing up your lungs, you're screwing up your support, right? No, I thought it was really, really well realized. I really like Carousel. I'd encourage people to go and see it. And it's not, it's kind of out of fashion, so it's not done very commonly, so it's not like it's coming back next year. It's not like Sound of Music or whatnot. We're like, it'll always be there. You should see Carousel. Maybe it won't be back for another 10 or 15 years. You should go see it.
I really liked it. Sarah Lest was playing Mrs. Mullins.
I love Sarah so much.
And she was she was fantastic. I'm not familiar with Sarah. I saw her in Sound of Music this year, and she was a standout there, and she was a standout here. And part of me was thinking, what would have happened if Billy and Mrs. Mullins had ended up? I think she could have handled Billy.
Yeah, so Mrs. Mullins is she runs the Carousel that Billy Bigelow works for, the titular Carousel. And she plays a very hard woman compared to Julie Jordan's very soft woman, right? So really, Sarah's a college student, so really Mrs. Mullins should probably be like in her 40s. But Sarah's got such aplomb and panache, that it came off really well.
Yeah, it was really good. Jigger.
Yeah.
Liam Schmidt. Playing Jigger.
The brother Schmidt.
So we had the two Schmidt brothers, Dane and Liam. Dane, I think, was out sick. He was supposed to be playing the policeman
in
in this show. But Liam who, boy, he's in his first year at college, and I've been watching Liam grow up in short shakes and stuff since he was a kid, and so it was amazing to see him in his first big role. Outside of youth productions.
It's always because I did community theater for a long time before doing like regional theater type stuff. And it's a weird transition going from audiences that are like 80%, 90% people that are connected to people in the show, right? Your friends, your family, co-workers, whatever. But at LST, Leavenworth Summer Theater, it's different, right? Because it is regional theater and it's mostly tourists. It's mostly people you don't know. And it is weird because they are not obligated to like you. In community theater, like, if they don't like it, there's going to be a problem the next day. You know, you're going to have words with your mom or whatever, right? But regional theater, they don't owe you anything, right? Because they're like actual paying patrons, you know? And it's different. So it's more intimidating, but potentially more rewarding, right? We're all pleased with our boy, Liam.
Yeah, he did a great job. He had the unfortunate role that he's got to play somebody also in his 40s.
Yeah.
And he's probably 19 or 20.
Jigger's clearly supposed to be older than Billy Bigelow. That's the relationship.
But he was he was pushing towards it.
Yeah.
He kind of had that Union dockhand kind of thing. I really wanted to see him with like a half a cigar in his mouth. You know, I know they can't do that up on the hill, but...
When he was cast, I was like, well, it's going to be fine. He's so young. It's going to be fine because surely they're going to put him like in a fake beard or whatnot because they're like sailors.
Yes.
So like, come on, give us like a sailor beard or something, you know? No dice. No dice.
He had to carry it all himself.
Yes,
Did a great job. Yeah. Anyhow, no, it was a great show. We would encourage everybody to go see Carousel.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into our shows that are in rehearsals right now. Mm-hmm. We can go through that and kind of get everybody ready for upcoming opening nights. Little Mermaid is up at Leavenworth Summer Theater. That'll be their third show this summer.
Yes.
And they'll be opening on July 30th.
Yeah, at the Fest Hall.
At the Fest Hall.
Yes.
They're not up on the hill.
No. LST is back in the Fest Hall. They haven't been in the Fest Hall since, I think, 2017. The last production there was Martin Kegel's Beauty and the Beast, which was a very good show. Morgan Bader, wonderful. And, and Paul and Ernest, right?
Yes.
The Servants. And Lumiere and Cockworth, there it is. But yeah, LST is back in the Fest Hall, which is fun because it is air conditioned, and we love that. Isn't that great?
Well, and more importantly, it can get dark.
Yes.
That was a problem. I know when I was directing there, I was able to start Drowsy Chaperone in the dark like it's supposed to, right?
Yes.
And when we did it up on the hill, you had to talk about waiting for the show to start.
Yeah, and we didn't really have a curtain, and there's like stuff involving the curtain and Drowsy Chaperone, which is like, we just won't do that.
Yeah.
Fest Hall is like a quote real unquote theater, a more traditional theater.
Yeah.
So it's exciting that we'll be back in there,
and we will be up there on July 30th. For opening night on that one. Also that same week is the opening for Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which they're rehearsing right now at the Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of people that are in that show.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. That's Maddie Atwood is one of the primaries, right? It's exciting to see her. I don't think she's ever done Hot August Nights before. She's more of a Leavenworth Summer Theater gal.
She might be. I know John Merritt's doing it again.
Yeah,
I think
Adam Eagle is the other male lead who is exciting. He did a lot of theater back in the day, and then he went away for a while, and now he's back, and he's like plunged in with both feet. He's everywhere.
Okay.
And he is also understudied by the wonderful Rowan Kapler, our pal, who has 2 performances. So I might have to go to one of those as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, August 1st. They just did last night. We're recording this on a Sunday, and last night on Saturday, they had the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels Cabaret in the Alley behind the pack.
Yes.
Where basically they let people in the cast do a cabaret number, and it wasn't numbers from the show. It's whatever they wanted to do. So there was some improv, there was some songs from other shows, and they finished it up with I'm Just Ken from the Barbie movie.
Powerful number.
It was a powerful number.
It's a soulful number.
Made me cry.
Yep. No, it's strong stuff.
Next up after that is Short Shakespeareans.
Yes.
That will be August 6th.
And that's Taming of the Shrew, right?
Honestly, I don't know.
I think it is. Because I was there the other day, and I saw posters for Taming of the Shrew.
Okay. Well, then that would be it. I know they've got nuns because Kelly is having to make more nun costumes.
How does Chelan County need more nun costumes? We can figure this out. We can put this together.
But they all need to be for grade schoolers.
Some of those LST women are so small, though. You saw Carousel. Some of them are so small.
They can be. I don't know that we're going to be able to get second graders into those costumes.
You could stack them. A little rascal style situation.
Trying to get into a movie theater.
Yeah, make it a bit.
Yeah, we could.
Lean into it.
Okay, then August 8th, we've got 12th Night, and that's going to be up at ICCA, right?
Yeah, that'll be at the Meadow Stage the evenings of August 8 and August 9.
And what's the name of that company again?
Third Job Theater.
Third Job Theater, and this is their first production.
Our opening production. Yes.
Okay, and you're in that.
Yes.
What is your role?
I am Sir Andrew Aguecheek. So again, we talked earlier about you have a dramatic couple and a comic couple. I am part of the comic couple. The comic couple being me and Pete Kapler, Sir Toby Belch. We're pals, and the serious couple are the wonderful JJ Hernandez and Gracie Camp.
Okay.
Who, she did theater here back in the day, and she's been out of it for a little while, and she's coming back, so that's exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to our next opening nightclub event, which is the Stage Teen production of High School Musical Junior.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure what High School Musical Junior would be. They must drop all of the swearing and nudity in High School Musical.
The domestic battery. Right. No, because that was a Disney Channel original from back in the day. It was written. It's not a long show, and it's explicitly for 12-year-olds.
So you've seen this movie, right?
Yeah. With Zac Efron, right?
Yeah. And did you see it? I know that Wenatchee High School, Paul Atwood directed it at Wenatchee High School several years ago. Did you see that version?
No.
Okay.
I've only seen. I think it's Selena Gomez. Is that the female lead in that?
I don't know.
Oh, I think it is.
I don't remember.
But yeah, no, I've seen the film, and it's fine. It's not really for me. But yeah, I do like the Stage Kids and Stage Teens organization. I saw White Christmas that they put on this past Christmas, and then I saw Guys and Dolls last year also, and those were both good quality productions. So yeah.
So we will be attending that one. The opening nightclub will be there on July 23rd at Wenatchee High School for the Stage Teens production of High School Musical Junior. So if you want to be part of opening nightclub in person, you can be there too. You will see Skyler, myself, and the rest of the opening nightclub will be there. I'm kind of excited. This is going to be our first post-podcast version.
Yeah, we should bring door prizes or something.
We should.
We get them badges,
We could.
Yeah.
So I think that about wraps it up for the Opening Nightclub podcast. So everyone, we will see you this next week for Stage Teens High School Musical Junior. And remember, we will never miss a cue here, and we will never miss an opening night. Thanks. Thanks for listening to the Opening Nightclub. If you enjoy hearing about local theater events, leave us a comment, and even better, subscribe or follow the show. We're thrilled to have you in the club, and we'll see you at the next opening night.